5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, YouTubers and friends, sorry about that. I had an Ed moment. Welcome to another Tuesday night Hangout Live with my favorite co-hosts, Toledo Jazz, Dano, and Rose. Angela's not here. Quit that, Dano. And we have a special guest tonight, metal detectorist. Stef Diggs. And I'm not going to mess up her last name right now, but don't go away. I know you just told me, but I'd mess it up anyway. Tang away. Whatever. We'll be right back. Hey, YouTubers and friends, thanks for joining us for another episode of Tuesday Night Hangout Live with Toledo Jess, Dano, the Treasure Vixens, and I. Oh, am I sure it's not a Monday? Oh my God.
It's your worst nightmare. It's a Tuesday night.
Right before I go live, when you're all yapping in my ear, yeah. Know what I did? I pushed stop streaming.
Oh.
Boom.
Wait a minute, you guys. Rose, what were you going to tell me?
I managed to remember to plug the show.
Good girl.
Threw a shout out to Dano, but we ended up recording for so long that we're probably going to make 2 videos out of it. So one of the videos, we'll definitely have it in there and the other won't. But Dano, we found something and I think you might really particularly like. So.
I'm nobody.
Oh, well, not to me, not to us.
I'm nobody.
Hear that, everybody? Dano says he's a nobody. Come on. Show Dano some love. Show Dano some love.
Oh, I don't mind. I do my videos. If you watch, you watch. If you don't, you don't. I got nothing against it.
That's right. LBPA for life.
Like I tell you, when I'm old and gray, I just hope when I don't remember, my family shows me videos and I say, damn, I did that? Hell yes.
I was cool, huh?
What's up, James Van Cleve?
Oh, my big brother's in the room. Hey, James. That reminds me, in a month from today, it's going to be my old man birthday. We'll never catch up to Jesse, though. And we'll be flying out to the motherlode.
Ooh, yeah, that's a month, isn't it?
Yeah, a month away. We'll be on a jet airplane heading towards the West Coast, find some of that Cali gold. Hopefully Two Toes and Bennett won't find it all.
No, the way that Two Tones finds gold, man.
Bad part is he goes where you went.
And we're having a Jersey History Hunters raid. Audra Rach, awesome dudes. Thank you, Nancy, Ambient Girl.
Ambient Girl. Well, let's say hi to our friends here. First and foremost, the world's greatest moderator, Mr. Lodek. What's up, Jared? And there's James Van Cleef. What's up? Chrissy, how are you?
Chrissy.
Madison, Maine.
Mark.
Thomas.
There's Bill, Ohio Relic Hunter.
Hey, Bill.
Luke was in here somewhere. Did anybody say hi to Luke?
Luke Duke, he was the first to comment.
And Jason Keith's in the house.
Yep, saw Jason. PD Sandigger. PD Sandigger. Howdy.
Nickel and Dimes Coin Hunter, good to see you.
Yeah.
Sheila Cummings, thanks
Michael
for joining
Anderson.
us. And Ron Shaw from Shaw's Prospecting.
What's up, Ron?
Mitchell Anderson. Sorry, I always F that up. Always.
Jonathan Friend, how are you tonight? Jeff Otworth.
Yeah,
Man,
Jeff was here pretty early. Oh, Mark Miller, your package is on its way.
It'll be there by Thursday, I believe it said.
And Terry Curry, welcome.
Hello.
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 Hello. Who else?
Because it's hot out there in California right now.
Morning.
Jeff Otworth, I had an Ed moment today. Mower caught on fire.
Terry Curry, how are you tonight?
Oh, our friend from Tasmania, Terrell Marshall's in the house.
Oh, hello.
Our Dwight Wooten, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, there's Pinger. Pinger just showed up.
Hey, Pinger Prospecting.
Pinger, what's up, Pinger? See.
Fire, that's right. Reminds me of a time I caught a Carmen Ghia Volkswagen on fire. Well, really, the fuel line busted and got on the motor. I just glad I got it out in time. Oh my goodness.
How you guys been doing this week since last time we talked?
It's cooler than last week, so I'm a lot happier when I'm out on that stone. We're grading the new basketball court gymnasium thing at a high school, way up north of me, about an hour.
Hey, I see a new name here.
See a new
Gold
name?
Fever. Gold Fever, the Great Outdoors.
That's
What's up? Hello.
Jack and Lisa. Gold Fever Radio. Jack and Lisa.
Right. Got it. They're
Tucker. Remember?
Yep.
They used to have Gold Grabber High Bankers.
Right. There's
And
Benzo.
he's been on our show.
Yeah, I know, but that's a different name, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I said.
We love you too, Lisa and Jack.
JP's in here now.
Pirate Prospecting.
I see all our good friends from down under are starting to stroll in.
How do you like, I'm sorry I interrupted you. You were talking about work.
Oh, it's okay. I know you don't know what that is anymore.
It's a 4-letter word. It's bad. Work.
Yeah. Work. Like.
It's something we all have to do.
Here, talk about work. Look who's got themselves a kick-ass job. Brian Wilder.
Oh yeah. Working with Vern Atkins.
Right.
On the Ranger.
Now
he won't tell us if he's gonna be on Bering Sea Gold. We gotta wait. What a jerk.
Well, at this point he hasn't been fired.
Well, that's good. Brian's a dredging machine, and he deals with the cold water of Maine. He dredges up in Maine all the time.
Oh, hell yeah,
He's a New England boy too, Stef.
Yeah.
But he's a masshole. He ain't from Connecticut. He's a masshole. I can say that. My baby was born in Mass. One of my babies. I was married to a masshole once.
I think he's gonna do really well up there.
Oh, I know Brian will, but I sent him Martha's information from Blast Films from the UK. Hopefully, I sent a few people that information, and hopefully something pays off for some of them. Since I am unable to go nomadic, even though I'd love to, and just look for gold and treasures.
Well, he just put out a video today, I think. He took a tour of the Ranger 2.
That was out yesterday.
Was that yesterday? Well, yesterday, today. My days blend from one day to the next.
His newest digging on the beach there.
Yeah, that one. I told him, call in.
Hey, Tinks. Our friend from Ireland, how you doing?
Yeah, I told him to call in.
David Villa. We'll be out there next week or next month, the 18th.
Yeah, next month.
On my birthday in the morning.
Just to get out there, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I'll see my brother I haven't seen in like decades. Jim, you're gonna still meet us at the airport, right? Follow us over to Todd's. I have the green light from Top Cat. Or the.
Well, we're still kind of screwing around. I need to get a glass of water, which I still don't have.
Oh, sure.
Be right back. You guys keep talking.
We were going to.
I know. I don't need to tell you to do that.
No.
Benzo Bonanza. Hey, pirate prospecting. JP's in the house too. Right on, right on.
So
sorry, Liz.
So we've got Gold Rush days coming up too here.
That's right. Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend here in Ohio. So
you're all invited.
Oh yeah, we got a total of 4 metal detector hunts.
Oh really?
Right. I think it's 3 or 4.
Oh yeah.
Like 2-day ones.
So if any of you beepers want beepers. Metal sweeteners, yeah. Any of your metal detectorists want to join us, feel free. But at the Flash Camp, we're gonna have Keen Prospector and us. We'll have Jason Keats prospecting with us. So.
Yeah,
Oh, one day she might, Tanks, when she comes on as a guest. Hey, Jeff.
Yep, that'll be September 5th and 6th at the Swank, Buckeye chapter of the GPAA. So if you can make it there, man, it's a lot of fun. Learn how to pan for gold, do some metal detecting, meet a lot of cool people. Yeah, swingers with a stick. That's it.
And Chrissy sounds good.
I don't know.
What was that?
I said I'm nodding like I know what's going on, like I've been here the whole time.
Well,
that's okay. That's okay.
Rush days here in Ohio, which is September 5th and 6th, where they have a kind of like a swap meet where you dig for gold. There's gold in our creek. It's a Buckeye chapter of the GPAA. It's their lease, and one of their leases in Ohio. Every year they do Gold Rush days, but in that Gold Rush days they have like a common dig where everybody digs and splits the booty.
Speed panning competitions.
Right.
Metal detecting hunts, night hunts. All kinds of stuff.
Cool people. And then
sound great right now. It's been too hot.
Yeah.
Well, that's why, with our lifestyle, we're in the water a lot of times,
Yeah.
Shoulder deep in water, or Dano sits on his butt and just sucks up gravels like he's sweeping up his grandma's floor.
All right.
But yeah, it's like the 22nd year or 21st year of Gold Rush days too.
Right.
but it's a great time. Almost as fun as Splash Bash, Rose. Almost.
Almost, yeah. I
Almost.
can only imagine that the community is just as cool. I wish I could meet it, but you know, I traded that event, you guys, for something pretty special. My fiance and I have decided to get married at the beginning of October, so we're rushing a wedding. I'm gonna have to skip out on making the event.
Oh, bummer. Well, I mean, bummer you're gonna miss out on the gold rush, but congratulations on you guys getting married.
Congratulations, Rose.
Bummer.
There's always next year.
That's right.
Right.
Fair trade this year. I'll be there next year, guys.
So
right.
next year you'll have Flash Bash 2021 and Gold Rush.
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds good. Everybody's saying congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Super stoked.
Excellent. Excellent. Any new news? Except we have.
Well, gold's up at over 2,000 again.
Well, that's good for prospectors, bad for the U.S. dollar.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't know how much longer the dollar's going to last.
Yeah, right.
I don't think we can go into a
me
digital
rephrase
and
that.
cashless society overnight.
No. Let me rephrase that. Our dollar has value because of oil, right? Because we've been dependent on oil for
Well,
so
it's
long.
the
From other
petrocurrency,
countries.
yeah.
Not our oil, from other countries. We'd be dependent on the rest of the world for oil. And our money is tied to oil. So now that we're becoming energy sufficient, or we have our own energy, we're able to produce enough oil and gas that we're actually selling energy. So that means we're not oil dependent anymore on the Mideast countries, which is good. Which means we don't need to be over there fighting oil wars anymore. But at the same time, what's going to happen with our money? I think we're going to go to precious metals. Our dollar is probably going to be backed by gold again.
Well, there's been
Should be.
talks about that again.
It should
Yeah,
be.
that's to do with the Federal Reserve. I'm not a money guy. Jaron probably knows a whole lot more about this than.
Well, yeah, Jaron's a commodity and monies
Right.
guy. You know,
I'm
crypto
sure Jaron
to
knows
you
a whole lot more
know.
about it than I do, but I see us getting out of the oil wars, and yeah, probably opium wars too. I don't know, man.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, Jaron, my crypto's doing very well at the moment.
Right, I think crypto's doing really well right now. What's crypto up to? What I see it at?
Well, depends which crypto. There's like a kabillion different types of crypto
Right.
coins.
The
Let's just say my investment has doubled.
That's good.
Wow, that's great.
And my gold has gone up and my silver has gone up, so yeah, don't and hell, I'd still keep buying gold and silver even at this price. And it's supposed to go up even more. Whether it does or doesn't.
Neither will I, Chrissy. But Audra, Rach, did you catch when we were talking about Gold Rush days? But like I said in your chat before, when I was trying to multitask, I'll send you information on it, address everything, via Messenger, Audra.
I'd definitely like to see you guys there. That would be fun.
That would be awesome. I have gold pans with your names on it if you show up. And we'll get gold in those too.
Yes, sir. See Bedrock Bennett's in the house.
Bennett, don't find all the nuggets before we get there, please.
Yeah, let me find one. Just
Let
wanna
me find one nugget at least, please.
at a time.
Steph, this Bedrock Bennett, he's like a nugget magnet with his metal detector.
Yeah.
And we'll hopefully more than once on our trip to the Motherlode, we'll be out in the field with him.
Yep.
But it's like, don't follow Bennett because he'll find it all in front of you. Him or
Yeah,
Two
walk off to the
Toes.
sides.
Well, we've seen what happens when I go detecting with Lou, so I understand how that feels. Gets all the
Well,
coins.
Was that
yeah.
the guy who found that really cool like brooch with
I found a lot
the
of cool approaches, so I'm not sure.
a round one on? It was like let me see, on it was virgin property
But it's that property. We
yeah.
found that round brooch with the glass in it.
with
Yeah, you found that. It's probably like 1850s or so. It wasn't colonial or anything, but still very cool.
Yeah.
And he found the 2 coppers in the yard that I did not. I don't know. I don't know how he does it every time. He's up to 51 or 52 for the year, I think.
wow.
For coppers. I have a
So
list.
is there a, everybody's got their own specialties. Some people like to look for coins. Some people like to look for relics.
Yeah.
What's your, I don't want to say specialty, but what's your preference?
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I really, in the moment, I prefer digging coins because there's nothing like that dopamine kick of knowing that you have a coin under your coil and then it ends up being a 200 to 300-year-old coin. That's awesome.
Right.
But at the end of the day, when I look around my relic room, I really like the relics more. They tell more of a story and they're really cool in displays and they're all different.
Well, I imagine
That's what I like about tokens. And
I
I don't
imagine
find any of those. Yeah, tokens.
Yeah, I imagine finding a coin is a real quick high.
That's
but then right afterwards you're down again. So it's time to look for the next one.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Like crack, isn't it?
I like cracking. I was gonna say the same thing.
So like today, I went out and
as opposed to like a piece of a relic where you find it and you go, well, I think I know what that is, but I need to research it. I need to find out. Now you've got a longer period of joy.
Yeah.
Because you're researching, you're doing, you're finding stuff. So we're just all a bunch of drug addicts.
We're all vaping here, 3 of us.
Right. But it's, what I'm saying. I imagine relics probably give a better feeling, let's say.
They do. I mean, like today I went out and I found half of a powder flask and I was out. I was digging that hole for about 30 minutes, trying to find every tiny little piece that I could and then circling the hole about 20 feet out to try to find the other half. And no luck with that, but I did find one complete half, I think. But here's the thing is kind of the fun and kind of annoying part at the same time is I have to restore this piece. And I mean, for anyone who saw it on Facebook today, it's like folded all over the place. I'm really going to have to actually like anneal the brass to try to be able to unfold it without, I mean, I'm still going to break it. I know it's going to break. There's no doubt about that, but at least try to get it back together in a display. It tells a story and it's something that I didn't have before.
Right.
And I think powder flasks, especially, for anyone who doesn't know, powder flasks are about this big, like 6-7 inches long. So, I mean, to not ding it was an accomplishment in and of its own, even though it's in crap condition. Like, at least I know I can unfold it and display it really nicely and enjoy it, because I've always wanted to find one of those in whatever condition it's done.
So do you prefer to try to restore it?
Oh yeah,
Or
I mean, in
do
this
you?
case,
Yeah.
I have to because otherwise you won't be able to appreciate any of the imagery on the front. And I could tell enough from a couple of pieces that there's at least a hunter on the front. There's, I could see like 2 legs in the bottom of a coat,
Right.
and I matched those pieces up. So it's clearly it's not military. I mean, I would have seen an eagle or feathers or something. So, um, which would have been really amazing, but it's not. Is what it is. I mean, a lot of people back then, like every man probably had a powder flask if he was of a certain,
Right. Pretty common thing.
socioeconomic level. He would have had a musket. He would have had a powder flask, and in fact, I found gunpowder in the hole with it, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Shows
So do you try to restore everything, or just something that you find more interesting? Like I found, well, we were talking earlier about the fairgrounds that I'm going to, right?
yeah.
I found an old tobacco tin. I'm thinking either Bugler or some, some. It looked pretty old. I'm going to say
Prince
probably
Albert.
50s or 60s, but it's all crumpled up, right? It's all smashed up. And do I really want to try to restore that, or do I just want to like clean it a little bit and leave it alone?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine line too between cleaning and restoration because with this piece that I have now, um, it's still a fine line. I don't even know if I'd call it a restoration. I would call it more like trying to put it back together to at least get a picture of it to appreciate it. There are
Right.
some things I've restored, like coins down to electrolysis or using the Andres pencils or whatever, and getting that dirt crust off of there so they can totally be fully appreciated again. Just a bit of
I can see, I can see that, getting the dirt off, getting any of the
yeah,
loose.
at the very least doing that. I mean, like I'm
Right,
not
right,
gonna rub a coin shiny or something like that, but I mean,
right.
looking
No,
around
no.
the room, like one of my Native American kettle points, like 1600s. I did take and it took a lot for me to decide to do this, but I took the Andres brush tool to it to get the remaining dirt off, and it's really cool because it's got like a green stripe just across the front of it, and the other side is like blue. It's a really cool patina that it has, but I had to get the dirt off, and it's tough to go ahead and say, yeah, I'm going to clean a 400-year-old relic out of the ground. And I've had some successes and definitely some failures. I mean, if I dig a dandy button, 9 times out of 10, I will. If the patina is just kind of starting to actually flake when I rinse it off, I will take a brass brush and scrub the hell out of it.
Just get it down to bare metal.
Down to the bare metal, yeah, and it ends up looking fantastic. And usually with a brass brush too, even if there is some plating on it, you're not gonna totally rip it off. Don't just take my word for that. Try it on something that you don't care about before taking my word for that.
Right.
But I mean, in anything tomback, and tomback material, which is very common in the Northeast, I will take a brass brush to that. Like, again, just looking around the room at the stuff I have here that I can't get up to get, like my tomback bells and stuff, because who doesn't want to see that stuff shine, tomback buttons. My silvers I leave alone for the most part. I might like dip them in lemon juice or something for an hour, and that's about it. Especially reals. I don't really like over cleaning those. But yeah, it really depends on the situation. My George Washington inaugural button, I took almost a month to decide to clean it. Uh, and I took the brass brush to that and I went to town, and that was a really uh, it was an educated guess as to what I would end up with because I had been studying the surface of it. And I'm like, this thing looks toasted, but I can kind of see enough relief where if I take the brass brush to it, it will get, it'll shine up a little bit almost and show more detail. And I was right. Thank God. I mean, I'm sure I'll find another at some point being, where I live, but
Right.
it's still my first one. And it's the most important one. So.
Rose?
So, Angela and I have pulled a lot of stuff out of the water. We do magnet fishing. I don't know if you've seen our channel or not. But we pull rusty metal out of the water. And there are some items that we have found that we want to restore them. We do, but neither of us know what the heck we're doing, and we're so nervous about it. So I can understand really taking the time you need to figure out what exactly you're going to do to try to restore it, out of fear that you could damage this treasure you found for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I damaged a 300-year-old coin like a month ago.
Oh,
Yeah, there always seems to be this controversy about whether you should clean a coin or not. You know.
Oh yeah, I had someone in my one of my groups that I admin and or I moderate is the Restoring Your Finds group on Facebook, which has about 12,000 members. So you guys have probably seen it. But in any case, somebody the other day was calling someone a fool for asking how to clean coins. So I very quickly removed his comment and left him a message that that's unacceptable. If somebody comes to that group asking for help, leave your commentary aside in regards to how you personally feel, because that's not how everybody feels. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. And, like somebody just said, it's your coin, it's your relic. You do with it what you want. You have the right to do that. I have a couple of my friends who vehemently disagree on this topic and tell me, well, it's not really yours, though. It belongs to history, blah, blah, blah. You know what, though? If you can't see the damn thing, I think you should do something about it. I think you should try to restore it.
I really like how you said, it's up to whoever has it. And I totally agree with you. I think you should restore it. But you know what? If it's yours and you don't want to, then don't do it. But you don't need to be judged.
Yeah, you don't have to. I mean, that's great. If you can actually deal with staring at a dirt covered coin in a flip for like 20 years, more power to you. I can't. I'm way too old for that. I just can't. No. I just, I'm looking at I have half of the coffee table right now that's in front of me. I'm in our living room right now, kind of our den. It's a small room. I take up about a quarter of the coffee table with my latest and greatest for the most part, and everything there is restored or cleaned in one way or another. I like doing it. That's why the powder flask, it's like, you know what? I am really glad, and I feel like it was my job to dig it. I'm glad that I dug that, because not everyone would have even given it a second thought. It looked like a piece of total junk. And then I looked at it closer, and I thought it was like a Shaco hat plate or something. And then I realized the shape of it, and I said, oh, I got a powder flask. That's awesome. But a lot of people would just put it away and say, you know what? That's way too much for me. I can't restore it. Even a friend of mine, Roland Frodig, who, if you guys follow any kind of restoration stuff, he does incredible restorations. He wouldn't even touch it. He said, "Oh, that's really cool, but I'm not going to touch it." And I said, "You know what, though? I am." Because I want to see it. I want to be able to see the whole scenery on the front. There's always some kind of cool scene going on the front of a powder flask for the most part. And I'm going to do what I can to save it,
I suppose worst comes to worst, you've taught yourself how to move forward with the next project. You've taught yourself how to do something better. So even if it doesn't turn out like you want it, I'm sure you will learn a lot from trying.
Yeah, you do. And I mean, that's the thing, is that you have to be open to potentially ruining some stuff, which is terrible. I mean, for my top example that I will always think of is first old coin, at least I know out here it's not that old, but my 1890 Indian head cent was the first old coin I'd ever dug. It was beautiful. I mean, it had full Liberty, feathers, everything that you could see. And it was a nice gem green, but I was getting impatient with the toothpick, so I tried using hot peroxide, and I torched the sucker. I was so upset about that. But you have to screw up some things to learn along the way. And I think as long as you're not doing it on stuff that's, say it's like old military or George Washington inaugurals or something like that, no harm, no foul.
Agreed.
That's my opinion. As long as that's not really historically significant. Like I'm glad I dug my George Washington button when I did, because I feel that I have enough experience to clean that properly, which I think I absolutely did, given there wasn't much to work with. And someone else may have screwed it up.
Yeah.
I don't know, or I certainly would have screwed it up, a few years ago when I started. So, yeah. And I mean, there's been a lot of pain in the, in the learning process, but overall it's been good.
So you say you've got some treasure sitting right next to you?
What's that?
Treasure porn?
I know where Rose is
You
going.
got some treasure sitting right next to you. You got anything you want to show us?
Oh, I thought you said tiger, and I'm like,
That's
like what the hell are you talking about? Well, I doubt this is gonna show up, but this is how the GW turned out. You can see the star that
Get
my
a little closer.
pointer finger. It's really tough, but this thing had like, I mean, you could see the shield very clearly, and then it had no detail. I mean, I rubbed it off, and I was like, oh, holy, but yeah, you couldn't really see a whole lot. This is pretty cool. This is something that'll be coming out in a video in a couple of weeks. This is the top of an acorn pendant.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's silver. It's a reprise style, which just means it was, like hammered from the backside out. And this would have either had a pin cushion under it, or possibly would have been wooden, or it could have even had a silver bottom that would have held a thimble in it. Would have been on a chatelaine, which is something that it's super cool. I love this.
A lot of detail to it.
Fine.
Yeah, I thought it was a silver button. I was all
Could be like
excited.
the top of a cane also?
No, not with that shank on there. It's definitely-
Okay. Oh, it's a button. Okay, I didn't see the shank.
Well,
Okay.
I thought it was a button. It's not a button. I found
No.
a bunch of examples. This is too cool. This was in a video probably a few months ago. It is a 1749 farthing in ridiculous condition.
There's some great. Yeah, you can really see it pretty well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I didn't do much. I put that in peroxide for about 10 minutes, knowing I wanted to leave the patina on as best I could, and then I just sealed it off. And now it probably doesn't have much wax on it to speak of, but that's because I handle it all the time. I can't help myself.
You play with your finds. You just don't put them in a shelf.
I can't just put them on a shelf. This is a good example of like what lemon juice will do, though. That I could see
Wow.
the gold coming through.
Awesome.
Kind of
I
right.
dug it. It's just a button, but it's like,
Awesome.
yeah. So it's a 1830s ish, like a Regency era button.
I don't think you can say just a button here. I think that's treasure to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, not to everybody. Depends who you are, especially if you dig a lot of them. This is actually this is a good example of why you should at least try to clean up your finds if you don't know what they are specifically. This looks like nothing. It looks like a bullseye.
Yeah.
And it's clearly, it's a lid to something. Well, sure as anything, I posted it on Facebook. Just, I had found it maybe an inch or two deep away from about a 1720s to 50s cellar hole in the woods. And I posted a photo of it after I found it an inch or two in the ground. I thought it was a snuff tin, so I was like, oh, Christ, I'm not going to film that. That's crap. It wasn't crap. It's actually the lid to a pocket sundial from the late 1700s, which is incredibly rare. Like, you don't find that stuff. That's amazing to me. I love that. It was my friend Robert Bourne. A lot of people know who he is. He goes by Harrison Pearl on Facebook. He identified it immediately. And I can see my dog needs to go out, so I will be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
But keep talking about restorations and let me know what kind of questions you have when I come back.
All right, anybody else got any questions about that so we can ask her? Restorations? I know there's always.
There's a couple of questions in the Zoom chat, Jesse. And
Okay.
when she gets back, we have to tell her from the Jersey History Hunters, tell Stef she should write a book on cleaning coins and relics. And then Chrissy, one of our best questions askers, has a question there too.
Yep, I see it.
Well, what about you guys? Do you guys maybe
Have a good night, Destination Russ. Thanks for joining us, man. Here, I'm gonna put on a gallery view since.
Certainly. Do you have any plans to restore anything you found yet, Jess, with the metal detecting you've been doing, or nothing yet that you found that you want to, or?
Well, I was a little curious about that tobacco tin.
Yeah.
I do want to see what kind it is. but I'm not going to restore it. It's really crumpled up. But if I can get some kind of color or picture off of it, give me an idea what it is, probably all I'll do with it. Or I'll just throw it in a box of other trash I got.
Sure, yeah. Right. Angela and I have a full cast iron mailbox that we've thought about cleaning up. Because it's still a usable mailbox, but it's gonna.
Oh yeah.
We thought about giving that a shot. So.
You found that magnet fishing, right?
Yeah, it was one of the heaviest finds we've ever found. It's so heavy. Somebody got tired of people running around with baseball bats or something, and it's an entire cast iron mailbox.
Wow.
Yeah, it was intense.
Now, I could see electrolysis and stuff coming in handy with the stuff you and Angela find, Rose.
That's why I got so excited over some of the videos Snorkel Pirate has been doing with his electrolysis, because honestly, it's probably the best. I mean, other than good old-fashioned elbow grease, I'd love to give the electrolysis a shot. So, and you, Steph, you had mentioned that earlier, that you yourself had done it. I've got to go check it out. It seems really, really cool.
You're muted, Steph.
Thank you, yeah.
And I can't unmute you. I don't know why.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell happened there, but in any case, yeah, I've used electrolysis. I found what I believe to be a Native American trade knife recently. It's on my Facebook, and I ran that through electrolysis because, normally if I kind of only give like half a crap about a relic, I'll just throw it in vinegar for a couple of weeks, and then I will rinse it in water thoroughly, like let it soak, then bake it in the oven for a few hours, and then add some Rust-Oleum rust reformer, and it's done. But with this case, because I knew it was probably about 400 years old and I was fairly certain it was a trade knife, I didn't want to do that, so I did electrolysis. Yeah, there are some things I'll be more careful about than others, for sure.
So is electrolysis probably the safest way of cleaning anything?
Yes, from what I have heard, that is definitely the safest way to clean iron.
Okay. Just iron? What about coins?
You can, but you have to have the voltage very low. Like, I think I had my coins, when I ran them through a little bit high, just some coppers that I couldn't get a lot of detail off of. And I was just playing with, basically. I ran them through at 6 volts, and somebody on Instagram told me you shouldn't do it at more than like 2.68 or something. I don't know.
Oh.
Whatever it was some really funky number, and okay. I'm not that adept at, I'm not the electrolysis expert, let's put it that way. I have some things I still need to restore, like a padlock I found several videos ago. It's like 1830s maybe. That should be pretty easy to run through electrolysis at maybe 12 volts or something, but yeah, it's an acquired taste, I guess. Not everyone likes it.
I think it's super cool, but I did learn that it can give off toxic fumes, so it's something that you really want to do outdoors. Is that correct? Or I've heard not to do it inside your garage or inside your house.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it gives off
But I'm getting
fumes.
high off of fumes then, because I've been doing it. I don't know. I have, seriously, like, I haven't noticed a headache or anything when I'm doing it. I mean, usually, like, if I do it, I'll put it in our in-law apartment and let it run. No, I let it run for just, a few minutes or a few hours.
Is that with or without your in-laws in there?
There's no in-laws in there, thank God.
Oh.
That's supposed to be my relic room that I have not. I see where you're laughing now. I don't use it as much as I should, and that's really like my relic room. I mean, I've kind of turned the living room into my relic room a little. But yeah, upstairs in the in-laws where it's all supposed to be. That's where most of my relics hang out. Like there's like 10% of them in the living room and the 90% upstairs. So,
Hey, you like your stuff around you,
Look at your house, Jesse, or
Don't talk about my
Dano's.
house. I got everything around me.
My shed.
I like all the stuff that means the world to me. I keep in the living room in case there's ever a problem. Like, we had a horrible storm about a week and a half ago. We had a tree fall like right in front of our house.
I saw that.
There were tornado warnings in the area, so I grabbed stuff from the living room, just a few things that I really didn't want to live without, like a couple of kettle points that I found, my Spanish Real spill, and my GW button. And that's what I ran to the basement with. We didn't end up getting a tornado. You would have heard about it, but that's why I kind of like it in the actual house versus having to go up through the garage and getting stuff. The stuff that I would be really devastated if it were stolen or if I lost it in a fire or a storm or something. That's what I keep in the main section of the house.
So Jess, Jess.
Yeah.
You said you had some questions. We have some questions.
Well, Adrian Rage said, tell Steph she should write a book on cleaning coins and relics. And I'll let Jesse take this one from Outdoorsy Gallo.
Oh, she just wants to know when COVID is over, if you would consider going up to Toronto metal detect for the metal detecting event.
She would like,
yeah, she'd love to meet you.
All right.
That's from Outdoorsy Gallo.
I'm not sponsored by anybody, so it is expensive. But maybe if Kelly,
we're all looking for sponsors.
I know.
You hear that, Calico?
I finally got like a job, actually. Selling.
Yeah, so you're speaking of which, you're a dealer for Calico. Is that what it is?
I'm an affiliate, yes. So I can sell
affiliate
anything Calico products and then get your deal on pretty much anything in the store.
Tell us about that.
I just started talking to Mark a couple of months ago. He's our affiliate manager. Matt Tomaney, who everybody knows.
Yeah.
He got me hooked up with them.
Matt and Maddie.
Yeah. I was casually, I was talking to Matt Senior, but yeah, Matt and Maddie. I was just kind of casually talking about how, I've always wanted a job in the detecting industry because who the hell doesn't? And he said, well, you know what? Let me talk to Calico. And that's not, probably shouldn't have said that out loud because he said he would not just do that for most people, but we've become very close over the last few years. And so I was asked by Mark when he heard from Matt, he said, oh, have her reach out to me directly, and the rest is history. And I've been selling for them for a couple of months, and I've been really happy with that because I love the conversations I have. I mean, it always opens itself up to phone calls and really getting to know the detectorists and their level of experience, their hunting grounds, what they hope to gain from the hobby. And that way I can properly give advice on maybe what detector might work best for them. Whereas I think a lot of people, and I could be totally wrong about this, especially if any of you are dealers, I could be completely wrong, but I feel like a lot of people just kind of say, oh, well, here's my special little code. Here you go use it. I don't really like that so much. I like actually having the conversations with people to know that they're going to be happy with what they get, and to remind them that, I'm always here for questions. I'm always here for help afterwards. And it's a good thing I've swung 3 brands, Nokta Macro, Garrett, and Mind Lab, so I can kind of run the gamut of what people might need. XP is probably one of the big brands I'm not familiar with, but I know enough to recommend that brand to certain people, though. So, but I just think the customer experience is really important, and that's why I've been successful in doing what I'm doing very quick out of the gate.
So Calico, they sell different brands, then, right?
Oh, they sell everything. Yeah, pretty much.
They sell everything.
Yeah.
So it's a more. I thought they were metal detectors. I thought they made metal detectors.
Well, no, yeah, they sell metal detectors, gold panning stuff.
No, I know they sell that, but I thought they made metal detectors.
Oh, not to my knowledge.
Okay, I didn't know.
I think they're more of a distribution center for all kinds.
They're like the
Okay.
biggest dealership in the United States, probably.
All right. I got you. I got you.
Well,
Yeah.
you're more than welcome to share your affiliate link with the audience.
I will. I can't
Well-
share any kind of special code, but I can share my my link and an email address. So if you want something special, you can, shoot me an email.
Yeah, we'll reach out and get that personal customer service. Saying reach out and talk to
Right.
you. And honestly, I think everybody should take advantage of the fact that you're willing to talk to them about what they need and what they want. Being the newbie of a lot of this with everybody, I would love the personal touch and the information and be able to ask questions. So I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's the right thing to do too. Don't just
Right.
someone with their own devices to try to figure everything out.
Well, you don't want to put somebody that's brand new and doesn't really know anything into a $1,000 or $2,000 machine just so you can get a commission.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be fair. And you would probably ruin somebody.
Thank you, Ohio Relic Hunter. That's how we do a workaround. I can't share that, but someone else can. And you don't need to put the hashtag in there before. Anyway.
Our good friend Bill Marsh.
Yeah. But yes, please go ahead.
You say you didn't have to put the hashtag, or you do?
You don't.
No.
Just hashtagging it's probably so that I see it, but you don't put that in the hashtag. It's just.
We have a good question from our friend Chrissy up in the Great White North, Outdoorsy Gal O. Hey, has Steph ever had any freaky happening while detecting spirits, spooks?
Yeah, actually a little bit. So I mentioned in one of my most recent videos, I was at a 1700s permission. A subscriber actually invited me out, and I dug the face to a 1830s or 1840s mourning brooch. So I had an urn on the front with a willow tree hanging over it. And I didn't think much of it, but I had really bad nightmares for a few nights. And I am not one that remembers my dreams very often at all. So that was weird. And then my partner said, "Hey, maybe it's that brooch you brought home." And I kind of went, "Oh."
Ooh, you had a spirit
Yeah,
connected
it is.
to a
So,
brooch?
So it's kind of like you feel silly, but you kind of have to say, like, "Hey, I'm here to preserve this for you. Your story is going to be remembered as best it can now because I have this for people to see." So the activity largely stopped. But recently, I've actually really been thinking about going back to this mill site that I had been to a couple of years ago. I got the weirdest vibe there I've ever gotten. I mean, not a single, and I realized it once I got home why it was weird. I didn't hear any animals at all. Not so much as a squirrel, a bird, nothing.
That's always spooky.
It is.
When you're in the woods and you don't hear any critters.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell is it? Was I near like a black bear or something? I didn't know.
Sounds like a Sasquatch.
But yeah, but it was really weird, and but I just loved it there. It was just the most beautiful place I've ever detected, probably. And I didn't find much. I found a couple buttons and a musket ball. Somebody was there like the day before I was. But then afterwards I realized, oh crap, this is private property, so I kind of have to figure out who the owner is. I thought it was just my town's land, but when I finally got on X Hunt, which is a great app if you have an iPhone or anything, fantastic app. You can actually look up the ownership as you're hiking through the woods. So I realized it recently because I want to try to get permission to go there rather than just going there. So again, I didn't find much, but I just got the weirdest vibe. It was November, but the critters shouldn't have all been away yet.
Well, let me ask you this.
It's too early.
Actually, Dave Vito wants to know, could you hear the trees?
Not from what I can remember.
Yeah.
Like dead silent.
Yeah, it was just silent, and I felt like people were watching me. And then the only other thing that was kind of, I've had a couple sites that just kind of leave me feeling a little weirded out. There's
That's
a field that I was, I'm positive it was public land. It said Connecticut open land, like all the signs everywhere. And it was a public field. And I did like half a dozen buttons there, a bridal shield, a 1694 William and Mary copper was the first thing I dug out of there. So that's why I went back a couple times. But that was also a place where I felt a vibe, like someone was still there from 17, whatever. Um, but I liked it though. It's weird. Like I don't mind being surrounded by spirits if that's what it is.
I like
In
watch,
the slightest. What's that?
like being watched.
Yeah, I mean that place wasn't so much being watched. The field that I not just went to, but the one I was just talking about, that wasn't so much feeling like I was being watched. That was more like they're still here.
Hmm.
Just their vibe is still here. When I was at this mill site though, the one I need to get permission to, I felt like I was being watched the entire time. I always felt like someone was to my side or behind me. So that was weird, but it's such a beautiful place to swing. I know there's still got to be stuff there, and
and no sounds.
and no sounds, and that's what was weird is that it took me until I got home to realize, oh my god, I didn't hear a single sound all day. That's why I was weirded out.
Remember,
But
Daniel,
yeah.
you remember that story I was telling about walking through a place and Joel and I heard a grunt. That's on Turkey Foot Island up here.
Right.
And same thing. The woods was quiet. I mean, it was dead silence. There should have been able to hear birds, the trees rustling, nothing.
Yeah.
So
It's weird.
those
It's
are
like,
thoughts.
Were there any like foul odors, or
No
was
foul
it
odors.
colder than normal?
Steph.
oh, for me, oh no. And there was one other factor I was going to mention too, which I can't think of. It like literally just went out of my brain. I was going to mention that about this site. Something else that was really bizarre. It's going to bother me now because I can't think of it. But there was one other time I was really a little bit weirded out, and it could have been noise from a street that was about a mile or so away, but I don't think sound carries quite that far. It was the first time I went out and dug any coppers, and it took me like 11 months to find any around here, which is a talent because I swear to God, they must have like seen me coming and like floated through the ground into another hole because they didn't want to be
Went
dug.
over to where you were at.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it took so long. There are a lot of people with beginner's luck out here who did coppers in the first week, and they say, "What's so hard?" I don't know. Whatever. Go out and dig a couple kettle points, then, buddy. Anyway, so but it was weird because the first copper I dug, I heard a woman's voice like "hello," like sarcastic and pissed off, and I'm like, I'm just gonna assume that's from someone along the street somewhere.
Walking by.
And then later on, I got to a site because that was right off the side of a cart path. I kind of just all of a sudden really wanted to duck into the woods, and it was right there. It was weird. And then maybe an hour or so later, I found a 1723 Woods Hibernia at a really, really old site that I still go back to from time to time, even though it's hard to find stuff at this point. It's an early settler's home. There's no well, nothing. So they weren't there for very long. But as soon as I dug it up, I thought I heard men like muttering. It was weird.
That is creepy.
Yeah, so I've had a few kind of sort of creepy experiences, but I've never dug anything except for that brooch that I would say was actually haunted. I mean, I've dug a casket handle before, which makes no sense at all from where I was. I really didn't think it was a potential cemetery, and evidently it probably was because it was right across the street from a graveyard. This is a house I have permission to. They have a big field next to it, and yeah, I thought it was a cane topper, and even the homeowner said, no, it looks more utilitarian or industrial than that. I posted it to the ID Me group, and immediately people are posting pictures of casket handles and their own finds of casket handles for when graves get moved and stuff. So that was sad because I'm like, it was over a foot in the ground. It probably wasn't tossed around a lot. And it made me sad because it's like, this is potentially someone's grave that's underneath there. And this is the one part that's actually festered up. And no one knows who they are, all because of a religious thing, because if you
Right.
want the same religion of the people in the graveyard, you can be buried in the graveyard. You have to be buried in the cemetery, usually right next to it. But in this case, I think it was across the street. And I remember telling the homeowner that night, when I still didn't know what it was, I said, I just can't get over this view. It was just like this absolutely beautiful field. And I can see why that would be where people would be laid to rest. So, in fact, I haven't been able to reach her since the whole COVID thing. I've seen her out in her yard as I'm like speeding past her house when I'm trying to get home. She lives maybe 10 minutes from me. So I know she's alive and well, but I haven't been able to reach her. Her phone's not working properly. But I still need to bring that back to her and say, what do you want me to do with this? Like, do you want me to rebury it? Do you want to keep it? Do you want to bring it to like the pastor or something? What do you want me to do with it? Because I don't have a use for it per se. I want it to be in an appropriate spot. And I don't know how religious she is or anything, or if she would want to bring it to the church or what she'd want to do with it. But yeah, that's not something I intended to touch with a 10-foot pole. I felt terrible after trying to dig out, but I'm like, I really wish I didn't dig that deep 19 signal.
So you've never come across any like Wiccan things out there in the woods and stuff,
No,
like Jason
I have
did?
not done that.
Any old
Dark
grave?
side, I swear to God, that must be how he got half of his subscribers. He's got like over 1 million views on those videos.
You ever run into an old graveyard?
No,
You
it's
know,
just-
maybe like
I don't, and I thought I remembered listening like, and he's like, "Oh, my wife doesn't want me to open them. I'm gonna open them." I haven't watched them in forever, but it was quite the dig. That's so creepy. But what he got.
Now, Jesse was gonna ask if you ever ran across like an old homestead burial plot or little cemetery lost in the woods.
Not in the woods, and I've always wanted to find one. Not to dig that because I totally disagree with that, but I've always wanted to find one just because I want to take pictures and remember it and honor it that way. And I would just think it's fascinating, frankly, to find a cemetery in the middle of the woods. But recently, the video from a couple of weeks ago, that Virgin 1757 property, the one I went to with Lou, there's a grave site on that plot. In fact, it has a headstone and everything. They found the headstone there. And it was really weird because there's a graveyard like not too far away, maybe kind of sort of across the street, but diagonally. And it's always been a mystery to the homeowners. They've owned it. The home has been in their family since the 50s.
Well, you can look that headstone up. You can look that headstone up and find out what.
They have a lot of history. They don't know why she's buried there. So we're missing a piece of history here, and we think it could have been like, back in the day. This was early 1800s. I think she was buried when yellow fever was running rampant.
Right.
If somebody was unclean, they might be buried outside of a graveyard, which is really sad.
And then don't forget, sometimes back then too, people buried their relatives in their own yard. They did their own burial.
She didn't originate there. I mean, she wasn't. I thought the story went that she dated like one of the guys that lived there or something. But I might be screwing that up because I don't usually film the homeowners, so I would have filmed the story because they were both in history and loved it. But I just don't like to film my homeowners. It's not right to me.
No, what I'm saying though is, back in those days, they did used to bury they would have their own family plots on their property.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. They've done the research and it wasn't related to anybody in that house.
Maybe before that, depends on when she died. But
I think it was like 1820s, 1830s, and that house was 1757. They're history nuts. They've done a ton of research. So it's kind of a mystery as to why she's there, and they think it might be because, she could have been ill with something, and the grave diggers thought she was unclean, so she got buried somewhere else. It's really bizarre because they didn't even think there was a good reason. They've been researching this forever. There was a good reason that they didn't think that her gravestone was actually even moved, because that was a thought too. It's like maybe someone, stole it.
Moved the stone, right?
And from what they can gather, that's really not the case. And I guess they had somebody out there to check and see if they could find a big signal, like a casket or something. And I don't know how you would determine this, but somebody found casket nails.
Huh.
I don't know how you would determine that, though. I'm sorry. It sounds like BS to me because.
Well, here's the thing.
Square nails.
That field you were talking about where you didn't hear, or you didn't hear anything in.
Yeah.
Maybe you should look around there. There may be a small graveyard there, because
this is what I was going to say. You just reminded me finally of what I was going to say about that mill site where I couldn't hear anything. It burned down in the 1850s. There's a good likelihood people died there.
Right.
So,
because like on that island that I was just talking about, where I heard no noise, also is where I found a small graveyard with about a half a dozen stones. In that same island. So, and I'm thinking, well, maybe there might be a small graveyard where you were at.
Could be. I mean, yeah, I would. There definitely could be. I mean, at the mill site, I feel like somebody probably died there. At least one person probably died there. I mean, because you think about it, I mean, we didn't have any kind of, 1850s, like what did we do for a fire station? To get down to where they would have had to go would have taken forever. I mean, this is a mile hike into the woods on horrible terrain.
Bucket brigade.
Yeah, and I mean, to my knowledge, because I looked at some mapping software that everybody knows about, but if I say anything, someone's going to murder me. So, mapping software, and there were no other cellar holes or anything nearby. So it was just really the mill site, and that's why I think somebody passed there probably. But yeah, that's what I'm glad you mentioned that, because that made me remember why I thought that maybe it was quiet out there, because I kind of put it all together. I'm like, maybe somebody died there in that fire.
Because you never know. You never know.
Could.
That's the fascination of all this, is that we dig relics and coins out of the ground, but the real allure of all of it is the mystery behind it, above anything.
The mystery and the history.
Mystery and the history. Yep.
Yeah. On that note, let me give a big thank you and a super chat. Super chat for this super chat that Jason the Mason Flower Gold Wizard gave. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, Jason. Thank you.
Hey, Matt, how are you gone digging?
Digging. I also saw Nikki come in.
Yeah, Nikki's here.
Hey, Nikki. Who else did I see come in?
There was a name in here that first time I remember seeing it. I have eyes on 3 monitors though. So, but shoot, now I can't find it.
In the meantime, while you look for it, I got a funny story about Matt.
All right, let's hear it.
It's not that bad or embarrassing. You'll know what I'm talking about. So, on the way to Pound the Ground, we stopped at a rest stop at the same time, and my partner and I were in the same car, obviously. And we had
makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense, right? It's like only a 5-hour drive or whatever, and we had written Pound the Ground bound on the back of the car with chalk, and so I get out of the car, and I could just tell right away for some reason that he was a detectorist. And he kind of came up to me. He's like, "Hey, you found anything?" I'm like, "No, not yet. What's going on?" And I felt stupid because I didn't know who he was yet. And because I have like my few channels that I was watching, and that was kind of it. So I hadn't tripped across his channel yet, so I had no idea who he was. I'm like, "Oh, I'm Matt. See my sticker there? Gone digging." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I've been watching his channel a little bit more since. But yeah, that was just a funny happenstance.
I like it when he finds the pits in the field and dig out the pits. Ruby Dumma, welcome. Hope I pronounced that last name right. There's a grave at Horseshoe Bend on the Green River. Interesting. And I believe we had another super chat by...
I still have to try this super chat thing out. Does this work if you do a premiere for a video? Anyone know?
Yeah, whenever there's a live chat, it will work. It should work. Thank
Yeah,
you,
try that,
Bob.
man, eh? Why not?
I want to say hi to the other Ed. How's it going, other Ed?
Other Ed.
Yeah,
The other
HD Shovel
Ed.
Ed,
HD
good
Shovel
friend of
Ed.
ours.
Yep, and
Welcome, Don. BMXer
of
Don.
course, Bad Santa Ray Russo. What's up, buddy? Okay, I think that's
We're
every.
not got quiet all of a sudden, huh?
Yeah.
There's only
Oh,
5 people you're
and
talking over
Keithy
each other.
Six. What's up, Keithy?
Keithy6 from Alaska, metal detecting in Alaska, says, "Hey, Steph."
Hey Keith, what's going on? He's a loyal subscriber who watches just about every video, I think. So thank you, Keith, for that.
Man,
Yeah, another funny story about Keith. I went to his channel and I realized that he had gone crazy viral on one video in particular
His
that I think
Bigfoot
I had
one.
seen before. It was about what was it, Keith? It was you throw hot water in the air when it's
Oh,
like negative
yeah.
32.
oh yeah, his hot
or
water
degrees,
one.
you know? I was like, holy crap, I think I've seen this video before, because he's like, hey, check out my channel. And naturally, I checked it out. I'm like, oh, I think I've seen this video before. And he's still getting comments and stuff on that video. It cracks me up. I'm like, I'm so glad I don't live in Alaska. Second level of hell, like, screw that. I would not live in Alaska. As funny as that video is, I don't think it's worth it.
Wow, 41 million
41 million
views on that
views?
video.
Crazy.
Wow.
Way. 41 million views.
41.
Wow.
I knew it
Dang.
was in the tens of millions, but I didn't know how much. And I was like, holy, I need to do something
Nice.
like that. God, you know what's funny? Here's a funny thing. So, when I posted, when we had a tree fall right in front of our house during the Isaiah storm, I got like 2,000 views on that video in a couple of hours. I'm hard pressed to get a couple thousand views on my friggin' YouTube videos that I put like 8 to 10 hours of effort into in terms of editing, like every week. I'm like, oh my god,
I've got a video
incredible!
that's been
Sometimes
out
it's the simple
probably.
stuff that gets it. It's
Yeah, I got a video that's been out probably about 6 months. I got maybe 290 some views.
yeah, it depends. I mean, I would say for somebody who just started YouTube, I'm doing pretty well, especially because we've got such a flood of detecting videos now. Like 10 years ago, when we were all watching Aqua Jig or whatever, there weren't that many.
He was the only one to watch.
Yeah, and I did watch Deep Digger Dan back then too. And then, I don't know, for some reason I got turned off by it. I unsubscribed. I checked him out recently. He's got like 500,000 subscribers. And I had a feeling, I saw talent with him, but for some reason it was just, sometimes it was a little too much. So
Yeah, some just
and
explode, but the jig, I can understand why Bo has that many. He's
yeah,
smart, he's personable, he was a great guest of the show.
he's awesome.
Chrissy, Bo stayed at Chrissy's house in Ontario for like 3 days when he went up to the dig in Toronto. But they had like a 3-part interview with that guy. And we got what, 2.5 hours, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I love his caving videos. I love his
I'm partial
caving
to the river
videos.
hunting still, because
I like those a lot too.
that's what got me into digging, is his silver cash video. That was what really got me binging his videos and eventually got me into detecting. Well, like branched into watching other channels and stuff. But the best story I have of him. This is where it kind of all came full circle for me, and I never thought anything like this would happen to me. But what's fascinating about Jake is that if you're watching him and you don't know, I can't think of anything else to your ass from your elbow in terms of identification on stuff, and you see him and he could take the smallest like fragment out of the water and tell you exactly what it came from and how old it is and what it is. I thought that was fascinating. I said, between that and the technology of the detector, I'll never get there. I'll never be able to do anything like that. That's just so far over my head. And he's using an AT Pro, which is a relatively simple machine to use, but it took me like 5 years to finally buy a machine after I had started watching his videos. And then last July is when I started my YouTube channel. But what was cool is, you know, I had made plans to go see Jocelyn and Drew, you know, Relic Recoverist and Drewaholic,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania for the 4th of
Great
July.
people.
Absolutely. They're some of the best, really some of the best. They're the kindest, most generous people. Some of the kindest, most generous people I've met in this hobby. So really proud to call them friends for sure. And, you
Same
know, I
here.
had made plans to go for the 4th of July. Jocelyn was getting just kind of a small group of family and close friends together. And after I had said I was going, she messages me like a couple days before the party, and she says, "The wizard is coming." And I thought
The
she meant to
wizard bow.
yeah, I thought she meant like to pound the ground because we had been talking about, oh, is Chig going to come to pound the ground? Because I was still working on the admin team with Rhode Island Relics at that time. And we were trying to see, all right, well, who from like Garrett, you know, he's not with Garrett per se, but who from the kind of Garrett family is coming? We were trying to figure it out. So I didn't know if she was talking about that or if she was talking about the party. And she's like, oh, no, he's coming to my party. So I was like, but the best part is that's the day I launched my YouTube channel. It's the 4th of July. And he was there for that. And I got to launch my
Cool.
video from, you know, Relic Recoverist's house, who's now my friend. But, you know, I look back and it's like I watched her years ago. And it's just funny how things happen like that. That was the best, like, 4th of July that I've ever had and ever will have. I can guarantee it. I mean, it was just so incredible, especially, you know, to have someone, you know, like Chig. I mean, I had met Chig before at the Bone Hunt in New Hampshire a few months before that, but there were over 100 people there. You don't get to have any kind of intimate conversations with people there. So, I mean, it was pretty cool just as the sun's going down to just sit there across from the table from he and his wife and just shooting the shit. And I just launched my channel that day. And he's like, hey, you go, don't worry about those thumbs downs and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was just the coolest thing. I really could not have asked for a better 4th of July. The way everything fell into place was just something special. It was
That's
meant to be there
cool.
for the day.
And I have to say, Jocelyn and Drew are very cool people. I had the pleasure of meeting them at the same place where Gold Rush Days was being held. We have a Fossick outing earlier around Memorial Day weekend, like the week after Memorial Day weekend. And that's the outing I won the Go Find 40, I think it is, during the night hunt. We met Jocelyn and Drew, the kids, very well behaved kids.
The
Drew
kids
is
I
like,
love the kids.
they've both been on our show, great guests, and
Yeah.
Drew is just packed full of knowledge too.
Oh,
on
yeah.
I thought you were going to say something else. He's packed full of like.
Oh yeah,
really
he's
knowledge.
packed full of a lot of shit. Beep. But
Drew is 75% dirty jokes and 25% historical nerd.
yeah, that's definitely true. I love the box. I got a 6-inch coil for my Knox from him.
Yeah.
And his box had the dirty dog or naughty dog logo printed on it. He's like, did you notice the box?
The one that's taking a poop. I have one of the most old school stickers on my car. It was before the one that had a shoe in its mouth. I don't know.
Right.
On the box, but yeah, I've got the pooping dog on my car. I wear that proudly.
Definitely.
Along with Jocelyn's sticker too, where she looks like she's in the military or something, purple hair or cartoon.
Oh, the newer artwork. I have a hoodie of hers with that. I still haven't worn it yet. I'm sporting the old logo on the shirt.
You know what I always have a question about? Not question about, because people do this when they've got like 200 subscribers. I can't bring myself to do it yet. I don't even have stickers. I don't have stickers. I don't have shirts, nothing. But I feel like part of it is because I'm not really thrilled with my logo, which is funny because I'm a graphic designer. If you look at my thumbnails, you can kind of tell that's what I do. But my logo kind of falls between the cracks because I don't want to make it too crazy or anything. But I also don't think that I feel silly like offering stickers that say Stef digs to people. I don't know. I can't quite get that mentality into my head yet of, hey, some people might like to rock your stickers and shirts and stuff.
I'm a sticker freak, Steph. I say do it. I have my own, and I'm like, I'm small like you are, you know, and they're great. Sticker trades, and it's a way get your name out in your channel.
That's right.
Oh, I'm all for merch. Can you tell? The link's down in the description if you want to pick up any flash in your pan wear.
Yeah, I just can't bring myself to make any quite yet. I don't know. I just feel, I don't know.
You would think that would be easy for you.
Yeah, it's not even about, you know, the ease. It just feels like,
Well,
no
I
offense
think
to
so.
anyone
You're
who
your
does,
worst
but I say
critic on your
Right.
artwork.
I was just gonna say that.
what's that?
You're your own worst critic.
You both still talked at the same time.
Go ahead, Jess.
You probably are your own worst critic.
I am, absolutely.
So nothing
There's
that,
still like 5 people that
nothing that,
give every video
yeah.
a thumbs down, though. I have a tiny set of haters, evidently.
well, that's okay.
But that means I'm doing something right. It's a screw
Right,
up.
yeah, absolutely. You know, you come up with an idea and you go, oh yeah, that sounds good. You put it on paper and you go, I don't know. Then you come up with another idea and you go, I don't know. You're just
So that's the life of being a graphic designer, but it's more about like, hey, I'm making something about me and I'm gonna sell it. Like it's weird.
right.
I don't know why. I don't know why, because
Well, here, have somebody else do it for you. That way you'll feel bad when and you can't tell them, oh, that's terrible. You're gonna go, yeah, I like that. We'll go with that. Because you didn't do it.
It's not even about the design. The design, I like that it's just straight up and in your face, bold, and it's very simple. I like that for logos. I think logos, generally speaking, are a little bit more effective when they're simpler. But it's just having my name on things. It just seems weird so far.
Well, it's on your YouTube channel, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's you know, so
I know. I may as well. I couldn't. It's only because I couldn't think of anything creative. I went through this forever trying to figure out what would be a creative channel name, and nope, Steph Diggs is the only thing that stuck.
Yeah, because, you know, some people might get the wrong idea if it's like Steph Swings.
I thought about that was a contender, and I said, "This is I can't use that." I thought about it, and then my friend Lou calls me double check Steph because of the whole Real debacle. For those, I'm gonna keep it short because people have heard this a million times, and I feel like I'm riding on one treasure story that I don't want to keep riding on. But so I found a 2 Real in the woods one day, freaked out about it, left the hole, didn't reswing it. Went back 10 days later, reswung the hole because I had taken pictures of like where I was, and sure as anything, there were 2 half reals in there waiting for me because I'm dumb and forgot to reswing the hole. So my friend Lou calls me double check Steph, and he said that should be my channel name. And it as catchy as that is, and as fun as this story is, I don't think I want to tell it for the next like however many years I have.
Well, and it doesn't say what you're about either, though.
No, it doesn't say anything. I mean, it's like, yeah, I probably taught people. I mean, when I posted the half reals to the internet, I was like, I'm hesitant about making this post. I have mixed feelings, but here you go, you guys. I screwed up. I forgot to recheck the hole. Thank God no one else went back. And here you go. It happens. And I know I had people message me saying, you know, like I'm double checking my holes much more vehemently now.
We have requests for your stickers right now in the room, Steph. Our friend from New Zealand, Leah's Loot, would love to have one of your stickers. Actually, I'd take one too. Go.
I'll get them going. I'll get them going. Like I said, it just seems weird. But you know, like I said, if I work on my logo a little bit, you know what I want to do? I really want to incorporate my spikes into my logo somehow because this.
Oh, definitely.
Unless we have another COVID debacle where I can't get my hair cut, there were a couple of really awkward videos where I just had to go.
Have the spikes on the top of the S and on top of the D.
Yeah, I thought about that. At least the S, because that's how people see me. Like they'll see me from 100 yards away at a rally. It doesn't matter. You know,
Oh.
I'm not a small
was-
woman in girth.
that was
either. I'm also very
definitely-
tall, so you'd see me from a mile away.
That was definitely the first thing I noticed.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, look, she's got spiky hair.
Now, okay,
And some
for
people tell me it's so funny. Someone commented on one of my videos after I think it was finally after I had gotten my hair cut after COVID. Restrictions were lifted a little bit when we went into phase 2 in Connecticut. And I finally got my hair cut, and someone said, you know, I really used to hate your spikes. I really didn't like your hair, but you're not you without your spikes. So now I like them.
I like them.
Yeah,
I thought they were cool.
I was 17. I can't help it. I've always had my hair short like this. Sometimes I'll have longer bangs or something, but then they end up looking weird, and it always comes back to this. At the end of the day, so I guess that's me.
Now, outside of rallies and hunts and group functions in your lifestyle of metal detecting, your finger of treasure hunting, have you yet had the awkward moment of where someone out of the blue comes up to you and says, "Hi, Stef, how are you? I love your videos."
Not outside of rallies. I had a lot of that going on at Common Ground. I had to come up with a signature, like an autograph, really quickly. I did not expect anyone to ask me for my autograph. Maybe that was stupid. I don't know, but I really didn't expect it. And I'm like, shit, I can't sign this the way I sign like my checks or something. That's kind of lame. So I signed it as Stef Diggs in all caps and tried to make it look cool, which is a fail, but I did it anyway. Because that's how I said, you know, when I went to the Stealth Shack, I went to the Stealth Diggers Shack in last September. And, you know, when Charlie's filming me, I mean, he was like this close to me on the camera as I'm like signing the bench. And in that moment, I was like, shit, I have to sign this as Stef Diggs, because that's how he kept introducing me to kind of like help plug my channel throughout the episode. And it's a really ugly signature. It's not even like an autograph. It's just.
Don't feel bad. I write like a doctor, and my.
Well, that's what I write like. That's the problem. So I was like, shit, this has to be like
Yeah, that's a strange feeling when somebody comes up. Now, online, I'm Toledo Jess, right? So all of a sudden, now somebody wants my autograph, and I got to go Toledo Jess, you know, instead of how I normally do. So it is awkward, you know. I imagine after a few times it'll get better, but it's awkward.
Yeah, I mean, I was in rock bands, kind of a semi-professional level when I was in my early 20s. So I got used to signing an autograph, but it was my actual name,
Your
the
name.
way I would sign anything.
Right.
Because I didn't have a nickname in the band or anything. I thought that was kind of stupid if I had ever done that. So.
What kind of music? Punk like Audra?
What's that?
Punk like Audra? What kind of music was your band?
Oh, it was rock.
Okay.
Bands I was in, it was rock bands.
Well, with your crop, I was hoping it was punk. Oh,
Ohio
well.
Rock Hunter goes, just sign it in Braille. ...
I'm sure someone will really appreciate that. Let me crap up this 8x10 glossy that I got.
Yeah, with dots.
You know,
What did you play? What instrument you play?
Bass guitar is what I played professionally, but I also play guitar and drums too. Not that much
cool.
anymore. Now that metal detecting has come into my life, I generally have one hobby at once and one passion at once. That's just how I function. That's kind of like the borderline autistic person in me, I guess. And yeah, so I haven't really even been playing much because in my free time, I'm usually researching whatever the hell crap I dug out of the ground the day before.
Right.
Or editing a video or whatever. So yeah, I haven't played too much recently, but bass is what I played professionally. I was very good at it. I mean, like I had in the band before my last band was kind of almost like a 311-esque style. So it was kind of funk to a degree. That is Cedric, the cat.
Hey, Cedric.
Come here, bud. I know you're not in any videos. No one even talks about you in the videos. Hang on. He's caught on something. He's not happy. There he is.
You know what's crazy is that I've got my cat in the corner of my computer right now, and as my cat walked away, Cedric walked into the screen at the same time, and they're both long haired. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of long hair, you got it all up my nose and in my mouth too.
Oh,
Yeah, I have cats around me also. Mama's over there on a box. But I don't know. Brian hasn't been around, so Lucky's not saying hello.
Oh, man.
Maybe I told him shut up one too many times.
Yeah, this guy was kind of going, you know, when they chirp at you, that's kind of what he likes to do for the most part. He uses his inside voice unless he's really upset about something. It's just, and that's it.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, our
My
Burmese
cat.
just makes clicks, really, unless she's pissed, old mama. And she'll let you know. But other than that, it's like weird clicks.
yeah, it is weird. It's kind of like chirping though. Like if your cat is at the window and going,
Yeah. It's chirpy clicks.
Swear.
my cat sits at the door and meows, but he doesn't make any noise. He just moves his mouth.
Well, that's kind of what Cedric does sometimes. He was doing that last night, and then we said, maybe he can't meow. And then he went, meow.
Well, they can meow. I don't know why he
Cats
does
are
it.
weird. Cats are
But
weird. I don't know.
yeah, when he wants to go out and sit by the door and just look at you and mouth meow.
Yeah.
Too lazy to even
And,
say it.
Outdoorsy gal is right. I think he is part Maine Coon. She just put it in the chat. He's kind of a ragamuffin. I think he's part ragdoll too because he thinks he's a dog, and they're kind of a dog lover's cat. So he's a snuggle bug. Everybody sleeps in the bed at night, which is so we get 2 dogs and the cat. The bearded dragon stays in his tank. At least there's that. Be weird to sleep with a bearded dragon, but yeah.
Yeah.
I know what it is with your cat, Jesse. Is she mouths to your dog, and your dog tells you to let the cat out or in.
He's not lying either. When the cat is outside, my dog will come and look at me and act like it wants to go out, but she doesn't want to go out. She must hear the cat out there wanting to come in. I'll open the back door, the cat will come in, and the dog will follow her. Follow him.
That whole lie about cats and dogs being enemies, that's a joke. Cats and dogs work together on a routine basis. They work.
Oh, hell yeah, they do. One of them knocks something off the counter for the other one to eat.
Exactly.
You know, one of them gets into the trash so the other one can eat it. It's just ridiculous. Like one of the dogs got up in the middle of the night. I don't know if it was last night or the night before. Oh, shit went through 2 different trash cans. I'm like, why? She just got bored. That's what she does.
My cat brings dead bunnies to the dog to eat.
That's always fun too. We had a cat that used to just behead everything. He's died since, but he just and it wasn't from beheading everything. That was different causes. But anyway, he would I remember one time I went out the front door. Thank God I had my flip-flops on.
There's a head at the front door, a body at the back.
I felt something squishy. It was a big cat. And then you gotta find something to throw it in the woods and boom, you know.
Gizzy's done the same thing to me. Poor bunny rabbits.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have a dog too. One of our dogs really likes to try to find rodents and eat it. One time she was out in the lawn, and you couldn't get this mouse out of her mouth. She was just enjoying the crunch of it. It was disgusting. My French bulldog Oscar. That's the one who was recovering from surgery. For those of you who watch my videos, he's feeling much better today.
That's good.
I think Libby's got 4 groundhogs this year.
That's disgusting. Oh my God. Yeah, they haven't bought one. I'm surprised.
He eats the centers out. Leaves the head, legs, and butt and legs behind. And eats everything in the center.
Those Frenchies, those are little mouser dogs. They're looking for rodents. I mean, that's what they're bred for.
The Frenchies, no, they're bred to just be lazy sacks. The picture that I have, though, that is a ratter dog. She's meant to look for small rodents, and she's found. I'm surprised she hasn't found a mole yet, because we have moles, and it's a real problem in the yard. So you got to step on the mole trails and stuff. But she's on the case. She can't find one to save her life, but she's on the case to try and find one. And she was stalking a rabbit in the yard right before I got on this chat. But Oscar doesn't care about anything. He's just lazy.
What's this treat?
Yeah, he just chills. I'm looking at him right now, but I'm not gonna wake him up because like I said, he's finally feeling better. So I'm just letting that Benadryl do its thing.
Stef has been, adamantly trying to convince us to get a Frenchie. He wants one so bad.
They're expensive.
No.
We have a lot of allergies too. That's the problem with my dog right now. Is he had a small tumor removed from his leg. It was just like one of those little skin tags on the surface, but didn't look good, so my vet removed it. And so he's got lateral stitches that he managed to pop in like a couple of days. But now the problem is his foot, that same leg, for whatever reason, the foot, I think it was because of being in a bandage. We put it in like a rubber boot and stuff to keep him from licking it and to keep from wicking up the bandage, because the bandage would get wet the more he licked the bottom of it. So, but that made it like, his foot was round and it was just shiny and red and disgusting. So now I finally got the swelling down so that he's comfortable, but I have to change the bandage every other day too. It's just a lot. So today is the first day I finally get to go digging in about 2 weeks, because Nicola was home to watch him and make sure he doesn't lick his bandage, because you can't even put an e-collar on this guy. One time when he was neutered, it went through the collar, like it was strewn through the collar, the Elizabethan collar. He ripped the thing off of his collar. He was still wearing the collar when I got home from work. I'm like, how the hell did you do this? And then, if you try to put one of those donuts on him, well, his neck is thicker than his head. If you try to put a muzzle on him, well, you can't really, because they make holes for the tongue. So it's like there's nothing you can do except watch him 24/7. So Nicola was finally off work today. So I'm like, all right, I don't care what happens. I'm going digging today.
Yeah. I feel you on those allergies. I've had bulldogs for many, many years, for a long time, and they are an allergy dog as well. So I feel that.
Well, yeah, the Frenchies are the same way, because they've got, there's seriously a website called itchyfrenchie.com, because that's why they're expensive, though, is because you need, a lot of the time you have to treat their allergies and stuff. And I had a Boston Terrier that I just adored right before Oscar, but I didn't want to go with the exact same breed right when I just had that traumatic loss of the dog. But I think next time I'm going to go with a Boston again. They don't have the same allergy problems, and they're just as cute, So
I don't know if you can hear my dog in the background.
I can't, because Nicola's blasting music in the other room. So
well.
If you hear that's not me, that's her.
She wants to come into the kitchen where I'm at, right?
Yep.
But there is something blocking her way. It is such a serious thing. She will not come in. We have to literally coax her to come, and it has something to do with something on the floor. She won't come in unless we coax her, and she's definitely afraid of something on the floor, and she kind of growls at it. But once she gets past those two boards, she's fine.
That's weird.
But then
investigate that.
She won't go back out. She's stuck. If she's on that side, she won't come in. She's on this side, she won't go out unless we really got to coax her. And she's constantly looking at the floor and kind of growling at it. I'm going, what the heck is going on here?
I think you should pull up the boards and see what's under there.
No, I just put those boards down not too long ago.
What'd you bury under there, Jesse?
I see a question in the chat. No, I do. Well, I have a magnet. Someone's asking if I magnet fish. I have a 680-pound magnet, I think. Yeah. I have never used it, though.
Oh, get on out there.
It's all iron crap that you dig up. I shouldn't say that, because, like I was saying earlier, I just restored a trade knife that was iron. But
Could find a safe.
Oh yeah, safes. Yeah, the safes. And I can't spoil some videos coming in. We got a bucket list find, guys. We got a really, really cool find. You would be surprised what you pull out of that water. So no
Yeah.
precious metals for sure, but there's some relics in there for sure. There's some crazy stuff in the water. So that's what Angela and I do is we do the magnet fishing. And I don't know, you got the magnet, go use it. You spend the money, go give it a
I
shot.
know. I should at least throw them down the wells of some places that I've been. You know,
Oh yeah.
that doesn't take any time. It's just like another pound in the backpack.
We would love it. We would love a well, and we've seen a couple of those well videos. There's always something in there. There's always something in that well.
Yeah, it might be, you know, a whole chunk of nails, but at least there'll be some visual interest for a couple of minutes.
Or an older tool. Like I've seen a lot of older tools pulled out of there too. That would be a big deal. Angela loves finding tools, so
Yeah.
I mean, there's some stuff in there. I
Just find out restore them too. I mean, like, especially if you're having a slow day or the site is pretty dead, that just is a different element because you know most people don't magnet fish if they're going out detecting. You know, it's like same deal. What was I gonna say with dump digging? I don't really do dump digging because I like walking around and getting that beep. I really like exploring. You know, so that's why I don't. I mean, I tried dump digging once. That was an epic fail of a video. It has like 700 views, which is less than half of what I usually get. So people are expecting like hunting videos.
Yeah.
I tried. It was a fail. Whatever. But you know, I don't know. I get bored with that stuff. I have to keep moving. I mean, today was hard to keep moving because I kept getting like terrible cramps. We were going to talk about this.
I've been wanting to bring it up all evening because I still think it's a great conversation for
It is.
Absolutely.
It's a great conversation to have, and a lot of people don't have it because maybe they don't want to talk about it, or you know, I don't know. They think they're the only one. But like I said, I brought this up in a group, and you know, I had like 40 or 50 likes or something, and it was a relatively small group. So clearly, a lot of people felt the same pain, and it got a lot of comments, and you know, a lot of us were talking about how you can avoid cramps. And my friend Becky, who was she ran as a hobby for a long time, and she used to go to the hospital with terrible cramps, just excruciating. And she said to drink pickle juice before you go out, which I can't stomach that, but I can always have, you know, like a small pickle or whatever. And that helps. We don't have any pickles in the house right now though, because we lost a lot of our groceries during the storm. So we've only done like a half shopping since then. But in any case, that seems to help. But you know, I had like 3 liters of water today because that's what my water bladder holds, and it really didn't matter because I was getting down and digging a plug, and I just felt like I couldn't even get up. Like I thought I was gonna faint at one point, and I'm like, it's 80 degrees out. It's not 95. I should be able to tolerate this. But I really had a tough time today, and I got cramps in places that I didn't know I had muscles. You know, there's not much you can do about it except, you know, I've now learned my lesson. Okay, definitely need to start bringing stuff with electrolytes in it, like Gatorade, Powerade, crap like that, in a cooler in my trunk. If I'm going to do a permission, if I'm out hiking, put them in my backpack or whatever. And definitely have some salt before I go out.
Yeah, so I work at a lawn care company. I work obviously in the cool air conditioned atmosphere. However, my technicians, when they go out or we get newbies that are coming in, we obviously talk about the water, we talk about the Gatorades and switching between the two. And then we commonly and frequently, like some days we'll go out and we'll gift them to them. We'll bring them waters, we'll bring them Gatorades. We even, when we do that, bring out bags of potato chips. So we try to mix that into the mix of everything to show these guys, you know, and we're not talking about a lot. They're not giant bags, just, you know, little snack bag potato chips.
Yeah, just a little salt. That's all you need. You don't need a lot. That's why, like, if I had 1 pickle before I left for the day, I would be in much better shape when I got home. But today, you know, hey, maybe I've already forgotten because it's been a couple of weeks since I've been detecting. You know, I didn't load up on a lot of salt. I had like a breakfast burrito, which had a little bit of bacon in it, but not enough salt.
Yep.
You know, and
yeah, like we were saying, or just to mention, you know, you guys out there in the chat, like, what do you guys do? Do you guys get these cramps? Do you get dehydrated? And if you do, what are some of your solutions to that? What do you guys get? What do you guys do when you're out there?
Yeah, I'd be curious.
Isn't cramps usually caused by lack of potassium?
That's another reason too. Jeff.
It could be, yeah. I mean, when I got home today, I mean, I was in a lot of pain when I got home today. What I go through for these videos, you guys, that's why y'all gotta watch them. When I go through these freaking videos, no, really, no. Obviously, I have a blast out there, but today I could have gone home in an hour, but I needed footage, so I stayed for 5, which is probably to my detriment because I was feeling like crap when I got home. But in any case, you know, it's just. Water doesn't always cut it, and I think that's
No, because water, water replaces the fluids, but it doesn't replace the electrolytes that you lose at the same time, the salts,
Right.
you know, all the minerals that you lose. I like to try to drink a can of V8 juice every day. That helps.
Yeah.
Bananas, you know, fruits, and still plenty of water. But yeah, when you start losing your electrolytes, that's when you start getting them cramps. You can be, you
They're
know,
bad. I mean, if you get them in the worst places I get them would be in my hips. So like when I'm, you know, kneeling to dig a plug, all of a sudden I have to like just shoot one of my legs out behind me because I'll have a terrible cramp. But especially in my rib cage, that's where it really kills me because there's nothing you can do about that, especially if it's on both sides. You can't work that out. You just have to wait for it to pass and try not to sound like an idiot when you're at your permission going, you know.
I get them in my calves. I get cramps in my calves.
You know what though? Now that I said that, I know I'm gonna get Charlie horses tonight all night because I don't get them when I'm at a dig. I'll get them the night after a dig if I haven't had enough electrolytes or salt or water or whatever. Water is never a problem. You know, in the 5 hours I was there, though, with how much water I drank, I should have had to go to the woods to relieve myself, and I didn't. So I was.
And that's a sign, right? That's a sign right there.
Yeah, I was still.
If you're not able to pee or sweat it out, then you're.
I was sweating, but it was just like, you know, if you're not peeing every couple of hours or every hour better, you're not getting enough water. And I was so, you know, like gung-ho about drinking water. I mean, every time I did, you know, a line of my grid, which was a short grid, it was maybe less than 100 feet. I was just guzzling on water, and then I would stop in the shade and stuff, and nothing was working.
So Bill from Ohio Relic Hunter says, have you ever been checked for Lyme disease? I used to get rib cramps when I had it. Only time I had rib cramps ever.
That's I have not been checked. Maybe I should be. I don't know because it's certainly possible. I mean, I go in the woods all the time. I never find ticks on me really, but how do you know? If you have a nymph on you, you're never going to find it.
Right.
The likelihood you're going to find a nymph is next to impossible. Actually, I take it back. A couple of years ago, I did get checked for Lyme because I noticed under my clothing I had a little hanger on. And he was there for at least 24 hours. So, you know, I went to the doctor and she gave me doxycycline and all that. But, you know, and I was having palpitations too. So she put me on a heart monitor thing for a few days, which cost me like $400 to find out nothing was really wrong with me. But, you know, sucks. That's healthcare for you. We won't even get into that discussion. It's too expensive. But yeah, it's, you know,
that's for a different channel.
I've had rib cramps for years though. Like I know Lyme can linger around for years with people though. I mean, like Todd Hiltz is a fantastic, well, feel bad saying fantastic example because he was down and out for a while. I'm sure people know who he is. Very popular relic hunter up north. Oh, what?
I'm reading Miss Laurel's comment.
Oh boy.
She had a nymph on her once. 9 months later, she had a kid.
Oh my God. I thought you were laughing at Todd Hiltz. I'm like, what did Todd do to you? No, so he had Lyme really bad for a few years there, and you know, I guess maybe that's how I met Dave Wise because his regular hunting buddy wasn't really available because you know Todd can only handle so long in the woods or outside, and you know, some days it felt like I don't want to totally speak for him, but I've heard from people that it just feels difficult to even carry a shovel sometimes when you have Lyme. So that was kind of freaking me out today because at one point it was hard to even carry a shovel, and I'm like, not going there.
It's really hard to, you know, we're all sitting here, you know, diagnosing what it could be, it couldn't be. there's just so many possibilities, you know. Just make sure you stay hydrated when you're out there, and you know, make sure you got some electrolytes in you, some potassiums, all that stuff. Whatever you do to make sure that you're safe out there. I mean, you know, there's already enough bad stuff that happens around you. No sense making it easier, you know, to catch up to you. So yeah, it's and you're right. We don't talk about that enough.
No, we don't, and I think that we should, because there are a lot of, you know, yeah, people could just think we're silly and that we, you know, we're moving at a snail's pace, swinging a machine, and that's all that we do. But there's so much more that goes into that. There's a lot of physical exertion that maybe the outsiders don't see. They don't understand that we're digging a couple hundred holes in a day. Sometimes they don't understand that it can be really grueling, especially if you're on a good site. You don't want to leave, and you're busting your butt to get every signal out of the ground. I mean, I've been at those sites where it's a dig all kind of site. Everything non-ferrous needs to come out of the ground. Great example being a Revolutionary War prison that I was at. It was where John Burgoyne's British soldiers, the Hessians, were imprisoned after their loss at Saratoga. I mean, it was a really historically important site. And we dug some incredible stuff out there. So everything came out of the ground. Everything that was non-ferrous came out of the ground that we could hear. It didn't matter what it was, and there was very little trash. So that was, you know, dozens and dozens and dozens of holes every time we were there. I hear swearing from the other room. Nick, come on. I'm on a... What happened? Did you light something on fire? Someone lit something on fire.
Oh, okay. Is that like an emergency?
Yeah.
It's full of smoke. It's not an emergency.
Yeah.
Are you okay, Nick? Nick. Okay, hang on just 1 second.
Okay, no worries. Well, here, while we're waiting on that, I have something really cool I want to share with
Go ahead.
our Flash fam.
Burn the hell out of something though. Our house is full of smoke.
We had Gypsy Jules on from Zero Discrimination a while ago, and I talked to her about painting me a picture of a gold prospector, and I finally got it. Now, I know my green screen's messing with it a little, but you should be able to see it here pretty soon.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, now I just
go
need
to
to find a
YouTube.
good spot to put it, either in the shed during the summertime and in the house during the wintertime, but yeah. Gypsy, I love it. I tell you, I love it, sis.
Very cool.
Love it. Yeah. So your house ain't burning down, huh, Steph?
No, but I think our dinner is.
Oh, oops.
I texted her. I don't mean to embarrass her. I texted her at 9:40. I said, "It smells like something is burning," and then she just came screaming out of her room. So I take that to mean that
Oh.
Well, dinner is well done tonight.
no, it's inedible. It was going to be spaghetti squash with like Italian sausage and stuff. Yeah.
I guess it's carry out tonight, huh?
You know, a good cook never leaves the kitchen.
Yeah, well, she was keeping it on. She was trying to keeping it on warm so we could eat together, probably. And yeah, it just started to smell a little worse and worse and worse. And that's when I texted her. I think something is on fire.
Is there something burning?
Tell her the smoke alarm is not a timer.
Smells like something is burning. Shit.
Sounds like I called a Grubhub tonight.
And unfortunately, they're closed. I think we have food delivery around here. I don't think we have Grubhub, but we have food delivery, and they close at 9. So we're just.
Oh.
I guess I'll have to see what's
Quick pancakes or something.
Pizza delivers till like what, midnight? Pizza delivery?
we don't have Domino's or anything like that. It's a small town. So yeah, all of them are closed by like 10.
PB&J sandwiches.
Yeah.
We do have that in stock here, so I think I can make that. But yeah, it's too bad. That dinner looked like it was going to be really good.
Yeah, bummer.
Sorry about that, Stef.
Hey, that's not your fault.
Ooh, yeah.
You said a good cook never leaves the kitchen, so.
Josie said
This
that.
happen every single night. I am a terrible cook. I managed to burn everything. The only thing I can not screw up is eggs. I think that's about it. Everything else I totally screw up.
Oh, I bet you can.
Sandwich. I can have a sandwich. I can make myself a sandwich. If I ever find
Well, there you go. Miss Laura says she'll make you a grilled cheese sandwich.
I was just gonna say that. She's right in New England,
make a
Miss
grilled
Laurel.
cheese sandwich.
You're upstate New York. Get going.
I like Ohio Relic Hunter said, knock on the neighbor's door and say, hi, do you mind if I borrow a cup of dinner real quick?
You know, the thing is, they would probably say yes. We have some really nice neighbors, at least on one side. The other side, they're okay. They're nice enough, but one side is just, they're the nicest people. They've snowblowed the driveway more than once because it's just, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just that someone forgets to put gas in there before we have a blizzard or whatever. Or something always seems to happen. So our neighbor loves it. He comes over, he's like, yeah, I love blowing snow. Woohoo!
Oh, my beer!
Tired and bored, I guess. I don't know, but he's a super nice guy. So if I went over there and said, could I have a cup of dinner? He'd probably say, yeah, sure, come in for a beer too, you know. But yeah, no, it stinks we don't have Domino's or anything out here. The price you pay to live in a small town full of cellar holes.
I've lived in a small town. The smallest town I ever lived in was a place called Austin, Nevada. Population 300.
Okay, well, we're not that small. I think
that was small.
We're probably under 10,000, but I don't know. I'd have to look it up, but it's relatively small. Yeah, and to the point where we don't have conveniences that are open that late.
Yeah.
The town was run by Junior, the bar owner.
Yeah.
He knew where all the bodies were buried. Or should I say dumped?
That's better. That's probably, yeah. Well, much better.
Dumped. Mine shafts get pretty deep.
Italian or something? Is he in the mafia? What's going on? I know you can't tell.
No, it was just Junior. He's a cowboy in Nevada. Ran a bar. Him and his mom.
Yeah,
and
no,
they ran that town too, let me tell you.
Nope, not that small out here.
No.
It's not it's not exactly like you're going to hear banjos. You might, but probably not. So it's not that bad.
It's not like she's in West Virginia.
Right.
Yeah, West Virginia, that is the sticks. I have friends of mine, it's a couple that they live out there. I can't remember exactly what town it is, but if you've ever been to the Pink Moon Festival, they're the two who run that. I can't think of what the hell town they're in, but in any case, they live in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and they do hear banjos, I guess. So that's a little. Yeah.
Outdoorsy gal wants to know where you live. What state you're in?
I'm in Connecticut. Expensive as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I kind of like, so I'm a big fan. I live in a relatively quiet, small area, but I've got amenities within 15 minutes of me. And I feel like within 15 minutes, it's all groovy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we have a lot within 15 minutes, but then anywhere you want to, like, actually, like, if I want to go to my parents, it's 45 minutes away. If we want to go to a concert, it's 45 minutes away. If we want to go out to dinner somewhere that's not just some crap pub in town, it's 45 minutes away. You get the picture. But yeah, anything you really need is within about 15 minutes. It's just a small town.
Yeah,
It's the things that you want you have to drive for.
right. It's all good until you eat dinner. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so for dinner, it's not very convenient tonight, but we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Crackers and cheese is probably what is on the menu.
Grilled cheese sandwich sure sounds good. Thanks, Miss
That
Laurel.
does really sound good. That does sound good.
She spelled it wrong the first time.
Yeah, see what
Yeah,
Ray
grilled
said? He
cheese.
likes grilled sandwiches.
Grilled cheese sandwiches, that's not, no. I'm not going to make any more comments than that, except for absolutely not.
Cook up some omelets. There you are, Terry.
But I had eggs today.
Oh, well,
I can't be a chooser. I can't. Beggars can't be choosers, especially tonight.
well, sorry your dinner got fried. But I absolutely enjoyed you being our guest tonight. Time
Absolutely.
flies by.
I think too. It's almost worth the burnt dinner, you guys. Look at that.
Well,
Worth that burnt bread.
I wouldn't go that far, but thanks.
Yeah, but it's fun. If we can't have these like rallies right now, at least these are fun to get together and geek out over digging. I've missed the
Right.
rallies a lot.
Right.
A lot of stuff that we were supposed to have over the summer or this coming fall, it's all canceled. So it's.
And look, we even did a good deed today. We talked about staying safe out there while you're doing this by staying hydrated and how to avoid cramps and
Stay salty. Stay salty.
stay salty. There you go.
don't forget about the sunscreen, guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm wearing a lot of foundation right now because I got burned on my face today.
Yeah,
I look like a
I
tomato.
gotta protect this beautiful skin here.
But I was wearing a hat with a wider brim than what Jess is wearing. I was wearing like kind of my bucket hat where my mosquito netting comes down. So I thought maybe I wouldn't get a burn on my
Well,
face.
I really don't need a hat. I've got all this, so
That works too.
that keeps me covered.
I just didn't want to do my hair when I was digging today, and I'm like, well, if I dig a bucket list or I want to take a selfie with it or go live, I need to put something on
Yeah.
this business. This has been since I got home.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. Yeah, that's usually when I find something great is when I don't have makeup done or hair done or anything, and I just look like unrecognizable. That's usually when I find something good. That's what a hat and sunglasses are for, though.
That's yeah, they call that in construction. They call that trim.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's definitely been fun. It's 10
Yeah,
o'clock.
it's 10 o'clock, 2 hours pass in a flash like every week.
Yep.
I definitely appreciate you joining us tonight, Steph. We had a great time with you. Our audience seems to have had a great time also. Hope we see you in the live chat from time to time.
Sure.
For sure. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks for having me, Ed.
That magnet in the water, girl.
Get the magnet in the water, Rose.
I will. I'm gonna try it out. I'll try it out.
And think about making a trip down to Ohio here for Gold Rush days.
All right.
It's every Labor Day weekend, metal detecting, gold panning, people from all over.
Yep, all over the country.
It's a good time.
All
And it's free.
Oh
It's
yeah,
free.
Free.
Exactly.
It's free.
That's
Just
always
gotta
the
get
plus,
there.
because gas is expensive. So
Well, right. You just got to get there.
yep, that's it.
right.
So,
Yeah, I know. I hate when people offer me free tickets to a baseball game because they're
I
not
don't
going
know
to
if
be
I'm gonna get
free.
there. It's great.
Yeah. Well, getting there is no problem, but once you get there, it's going to cost you $100, $200 just for beer and and food stuff. So was it free?
Yeah.
Free $8 tickets cost me $200.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's how it generally works. But
Yep.
You and I
It's
both,
been a
Bill.
pleasure.
Yes, totally.
thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
I did sub you, I think. Pretty sure I did.
Well, you better double check. You'll know.
I better
There's a
double
red
check.
button. You need to click it.
I know I watched a few of your videos because I like to see what you're about. You know, so it was cool. I enjoyed it. I enjoy your bubbleness. You're
Yep.
just so bubbly. You're bubbly on your
It doesn't
videos.
take
You know,
much
you
to
just
get me excited about something, really.
right. You know, you are. You get excited. That's cool. You
Yeah,
know.
it's all genuine. And then I look back at the footage. I'm like, wow, you sound like an idiot, but this is going on in the video. Oh my God, it's a classic head.
And cool
Holy
enough,
crap, a toe tap.
you know, we think we're hilarious, and that's all that matters, right? You know.
That'd be funny. I'm just like, oh my God. You know, I can't help myself. I get very excited. That's why I try to kind of like reveal stuff in the moment as I'm digging it. I can't do live digs to save my life because that's just too much of a pain in the butt. I don't have the patience to, you know, stick a tripod out there. But at least pulling something out of the hole, I try to do that with the audience.
That's cool.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
Well, you definitely have your style, Steph. I like it.
That's for
And
sure.
I like where you do your opening with the map behind you. I think you do a great job. I'm surprised you're not like 5,000 or higher yet.
Yeah,
It's only been a year, so
Oh, well, you're doing great.
yeah. I'm 21. I'm at 2,100 now, so not bad for the first year, and it snowballs after that supposedly. So
Yeah.
you
let's
got
see
this.
what happens.
Once
Yeah.
you get over that hump of 1,000, it seems to get faster and faster.
Yeah, it seemed to get faster. I mean, I had an influx. I think it was only a couple months, and I got like 500 subscribers or something. And you know, I'm not
Some
doing
of us, it takes like 8 years to get to 1,000.
Well, I had some help in the beginning because Jocelyn, you know, plugged my channel on Crazy Lamp Lady. So
Oh,
that
okay.
helped a lot. But, you know, a lot of those people have dropped off too because they don't care about, not everyone cares about metal detecting. There are some that have stuck around and I know they comment every week and I know that they came over from her channel. But I mean, it's few and far between. A lot of people have left, I think.
I thought Relic Recoverist was doing good, but Crazy Lamp Lady's just like blowing up. She don't do hardly any Relic Recoverist
She doesn't have
anymore.
the time. I mean, they've got their own business. They've got their warehouse. They do their live
Yeah,
videos.
they bought that
She puts out a video
storefront.
every single day. You know, in fact, when I was there in July or last July, it was funny because she said, "You know what? I guess I should go upstairs and make a video about how I'm not making a video today." But then she didn't do it for like 3 days, so people probably thought she was dead. So she kind of had to explain, like, "Hey, we had people crashing here from Connecticut. Sorry, guys." She didn't update the fan base at all that she was gone, to my knowledge. I don't know. And at the time, I think her Old Things Thrifters and Pickers group was like around 20,000 or something. There's 40,000 people in there now. It's crazy. But I remember when she had 2,000 subscribers on Crazy Lamp Lady. I remember we were sitting at after a treasure show that we had displayed at together side by side. We were sitting at the hotel bar afterwards, and she was like kind of explaining some YouTube stats to me and showing me her Relic Recoverist stats versus Crazy Lamp Lady, and she had just broken 2,000 subscribers. So it's weird to think about that now, like how that channel has just skyrocketed.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
crazy. I'm really happy for her. I mean, to make a living, you know, doing something that you really enjoy every day, that's
Right.
she's
Can't
worked her butt
beat
off
it.
to do it, you know.
Yeah, I'm happy for both Jocelyn and Drew. And like
Yeah,
you said, they're
a dream
great
team
people.
together. They work well together. You know, and I think they need each other in that respect because that's a hell of a business to try to run as one person. And I think they do it really well together. You know, and have each other to lean on because it's got to be exhausting.
And then you always gotta struggle through that the hate, and that'll get you down. And you have to work past that. Once you figure out how to do that, it gets easier. I know there's been a couple of times where that's gone. I'm done with this. I'm done with this.
Well, know what's happened with those points, Jesse, and it seems to always happen, Steph.
Yeah.
When I'm about fed up throwing the towel. Is it worth the work and time, money I invest in this hobby?
Yeah.
Even though I love it, it's like,
No, yeah, there are plenty of
someone
reasons you
comes
don't,
up
you
to
don't want to
me
put out a
and
video.
talks to me and says something like, Miss Laurel, for instance. I'm sorry, Miss Laurel, if you started YouTube because of me. Please forgive me now. You know, they say just the right something to just really say, wow, make you say, wow, really. And it gives you that fire under your keister again to keep going, moving
Yeah, that's why I
on.
do it. I mean, that's why I was killing myself today in the brutal heat when I thought I was going to faint. I'm like, well, I really don't like disappointing the fan base. I mean, that I've created, that I worked so hard for. Um,
And they don't like to be disappointed either.
I
Right.
know they really don't.
No, they don't.
No, everyone. I've had maybe like I can count the number of times on one hand that I've had a really nasty comment that I delete and report. One of them was ranking on my hair the other day. Like, I thought when you got on the screen you were going to apologize for your haircut. No, and it didn't really make any sense. That's what I got from it. But I said, "You want to rephrase that in English? Never mind, black."
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want people to read that and get into a back and forth. I know it like increases your velocity on YouTube, but I don't like that crap. So I just say, you know what?
It's you don't need negative. I mean,
No, and
you you give
I don't need people that are viewing the channel to see the negative either. Like
Right.
nobody
right.
wants
Well,
to.
that's
No one
what I'm
wants to
saying.
across it.
I mean, it's hard enough getting past your own negativity on what you're creating. I mean, like we were saying earlier, you're your own worst critic, right?
Yeah,
So
because I think my videos suck. Like sometimes I'll shoot a video and I'll look at all the stuff that's there and I'm like, wow, this is a really crappy hunt.
right, right,
Ended up being received well, because my
right.
what I
So
consider
you gotta
crap isn't
to
necessarily
deal
crap.
with that, and then then all of a sudden you got some jerkwad who comes. Oh, I thought you were gonna apologize for your hair. You don't need that. You don't even need to have them on your channel. That's
No,
why,
that's
like,
why I just block people like that. I'm
this
like, you
is
know what?
this is a dictatorship. This is my channel. Goodbye.
Yeah, I've said
And I
that
can't,
before.
I can't just go ahead and immediately say something rude. I mean, I was snarky with this guy and said, "Do you want to rephrase this in English?" Because it really was poorly written. It's like, were you half in the bag when you wrote that? What does this even mean? So I don't like that comment, but typically speaking, you will not see negativity from me online. If somebody asks what I really think on the phone or in a chat, I might spill what I really think. But
Well,
in
yeah,
a
if
public
you're
format, I won't do it because, I'm part of a face of Kellyco now, and I don't want to give them a bad reputation
right,
because of acting immature online. So as much as I have started to write status updates and that I really want to post, I'm like, you know what, I can't do that. I can't complain. I can't be a pain in the butt. I can't, and this isn't Kellyco telling me this. I just know it's not good. It's not good for publicity or anything like that, or to give people a
and
bump.
it's a lot of wasted energy.
It is,
Well,
and it's like I
You know,
posted one thing once that was about somebody who had sent some threats my way, and I kind of wish I hadn't posted that because I had about 300 comments on that. So I eventually took it down because it was, it was not appropriate to post in a public format. So it got handled legally instead of.
well, not only like you were talking about Calico and stuff, we also become ambassadors of our lifestyle.
Yeah, what's an ambassador of the hobby? I mean, before I was with Kellyco, I definitely considered myself an ambassador of the hobby because if I'm, you know, I'm sharing all of my digs, I'm trying to
right.
be positive with other people, I'm helping people in Messenger ID things or how to restore things or what detector they should get even before Kellyco. So what about that isn't an ambassador? That is an ambassador of the hobby. I'm trying to promote it. I'm trying to get other people involved in it. So I'm like, you know what? if ambassadorship is my leaning, which I'm really passionate about, I can't spout off on Facebook about how I really feel about something. If I'm really
Right.
pissed off about something, it's not something you can do, and it is so difficult to hold that in. Anyone that's an ambassador of the hobby would say that too.
Oh, there's many times, Steph, I've been like, oh yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
backspace,
Well,
backspace,
yeah, you want to, and
backspace.
then afterwards you're like, oh crap, I have to delete that before.
Yeah, backspace, backspace,
There's
backspace.
been a few times when Ed said, I'm gonna respond with this, and I look at it, I go, no.
And it's a good thing I listen to you
like,
sometimes.
The last thing you need to
Jesse.
see, you know what I do too? I unfollow people if they put, I don't care what side you're on, and we're not going to get into it here because that never goes well. But anything political, if people are posting constant political stuff, I will unfollow them. I don't care what side you're on. I think it's divisive. I don't think it's helpful. So that's my leaning on it. I know some people believe in posting a lot of that stuff, and that's fine for them, but I don't want to see it because I don't want to have the inclination to get involved in it.
And it's like in IMs too. I'm a lot like Jocelyn Elizabeth with this. If you send me a bunch of shit in my IM, it dies there. I don't forward stuff or nothing.
Nope,
It dies there.
No. I hear that. So I just, if I don't like what someone has to say, and it's happened on multiple occasions, I just unfollow them. I don't defriend them. It's nothing personal. If I see them at a rally, I'll probably give them a hug and have a beer with them, whatever. But it's not something I want to see in my news feed or get amped up about, because depending on my mood, this goes for all of us, you can get really amped up about something that is just taking away your time and energy and making you look stupid if you respond with a knee-jerk reaction, which is exactly how I would respond. I am an Aries through and through. To a T. So I would definitely respond with a knee-jerk reaction if I didn't unfollow people from time to time. And it has to be really bad. I mean, if people are just a little off color, I won't unfollow them. But if it's really bad, yeah, I can't.
I don't unfollow my family. I don't always look at their feeds. Yeah.
So,
that's why we stay away from politics and religion.
Yeah.
Because there's never a winner there. That's just going to go poorly anyway.
Yeah, we're not that type of channel. We're a prospecting, treasure hunting channel.
Not that we don't have our own opinions.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of
what's going on in the world.
And my closest friends, I will talk religion and politics with them, but I have to be pretty damn close with them.
Right, I understand that, and there's a difference between someone talking and someone preaching or whatever.
Right.
So, but boy, you're having so much time, and we're having such good time. We're 17 minutes into overtime.
Yeah, and we said goodbye a while ago, didn't we? No.
And I guess we can call it quits for the night. So I can figure out my PB&J or
right. And I know I have to wake up at like 4 in the morning. So.
Oh wow, yeah, you definitely.
My work ain't done yet, honey. I won't be done behind this desk till probably midnight. So unfortunately, everybody. Oh, and Steph, welcome to the Flash fam. Because these people are, a lot of them actually have become friends. I've met, I've prospected with, I've broke bread with, and maybe a couple of beers or shine with. But they are our family, and welcome to the Flash fam, Steph. You're welcome back anytime. And
absolutely.
Next Tuesday night is a chance when any of you could come on and be our guest, because you know what? It's Open Line Tuesday, and I'll talk to the boss over there in the sombrero, see if it might be a show us what you got day.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, so there it is. It's a show and tell Open Line Tuesday, so before the show, make sure to send your finds, your gold porn, your treasure porn. I know Luke Duke has some that's still waiting to be shared, so we'll share some of that stuff. Everybody, thank you for joining us for another Tuesday night Hangout Live. Jesse, Dano, Rose, and I, we greatly appreciate your company. So until next time, may you always have a flash in your pan.
And you know what he's going to say next.
That's right, Jesse, because you know it happens. Maybe one day, too, we'll meet you on the river. Good night, everybody. God bless.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
See you out there.
Night, Dano.
Night, Jesse.
Good night, everybody.
Night, Sam. Night, Miss Laurel.
Hi, Dad.
Good night.
Good night, Rose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.